Here's some more history that you're not going to learn about inside of a history book. Let's continue this little series about the esoterics of the Knights Templar. And let's go over how they were technically Luciferian, however, it was acceptable. Now, it's no surprise that the Knights Templar was a Roman Catholic order because there wasn't that many options back then. So you had exoteric Christianity, which was Roman Catholicism, and then you had esoteric Christianity, which was the Knights Templar. Roman Catholicism is the oldest denomination of Christianity that's ever existed, meaning every form of Christianity, including its teachings, literally is just a branch of Roman Catholicism. And Christianity in its earliest form stemmed from different mystery schools. So based on that fact alone, all of Christianity is based on Luciferian doctrine. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? Lucifer is not Satan nor the devil, because Pope Francis himself literally admitted that he was back in 2018. Like, this is an actual quote from Pope Francis. He said, "I am the devil." Obviously, this was painted as a joke, but I think there's truth in all comedy. As the Pope was en route to Lithuania when he was handed a book by Polish photographer, whatever his name is, that had a beaming St. John Paul II on the cover. Francis said, "Pope Paul II was a saint, I am the devil." I mean, is it really worth questioning at this point? Jesus calls Peter Satan himself, and then the Pope thinks that he is the descendant of Peter. So essentially, the exoteric aspect of the Roman Catholic Church is that they are the original Christian church and they worship Jesus Christ. Because exoteric basically represents what something portrays itself as to the outside world. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like nefarious, it just means that there is mysteries within the organization. Well, back in 2014, there was a ceremony that was held to induct 2 former popes into sainthood. But there was another announcement made, a declaration to the world. And by the way, this clip comes from Robert Sapir's YouTube channel, so make sure that you go and watch the entire video of this, as he did a phenomenal job about explaining the mysteries of Lucifer. However, let's watch the clip.
Eius Lucifer matutinus inveniat. Ille in quam Lucifer qui nescito casum Christus filius tuus qui regressus ab inferis humano generis serenus iluxit et tecum vivit et regnat in saecula saeculorum.
I mean, it's blatantly being stated right in front of our faces. And in Revelation 22:16, Jesus himself reveals himself to be Lucifer, as he refers to himself as the bright morning star. Lucifer is the Latin word for the Greek phosphorus, who was also referred to as the bright morning star. And yes, this word is used inside of the Bible, and this just happens to be how it's widely accepted, as phosphorus was the Greek word that was not only used in the Bible but also to describe the bright morning star. In the ancient mysteries, it was also revealed that the morning star belonged to Venus, Phosphorus being the god of Venus. And in the ancient mysteries, there were also aspects of Dionysus, Hecate, and Artemis. And Phosphorus was essentially the bringer of dawn, aka the light bringer. As seasonally, Venus is the light bringer in the northern hemisphere, appearing most brightly in December, signaling the rebirth of longer days as winter wanes. And as we can see here, is depicted as Lucifer. You know, the whole rhetoric of having to be born again? Even in Hebrew, there is the understanding that the Yod He Vav He, or the Tetragrammaton, when you add the Shin to it, creates a 5th letter. This is symbolically represented by placing the Shin at the top of the 5-pointed star, or the pentagram. As when you add the Shin into the middle of the Yod He Vav He, you get Yod He Shin Vav He, which spells out Yeshua. And then it forms the blazing star, which Freemasons are familiar with. Because at the end of the day, this is what the Knights Templar were out doing. They weren't just out crusading, and they weren't just out protecting pilgrims. Because what the Pope was initially doing was having the Knights Templar go out on quests to bring back relics. To go and excavate sacred sites and bring those relics back to the Pope because they wanted all the knowledge to themselves. But in doing so, the Knights Templar would learn a lot of these ancient mysteries, or they would adopt some of these mysteries and symbolism and implement it into their initiatic experience. And the more they learned these mysteries, the closer they got to Christ, or Lucifer. And the closer that they got to Christ, the more they realized they didn't need a pope at all. So ironically, they end up going nomad, and nomad happens to be an anagram for daemon. And it also happens to be an anagram for monad. As in the previous videos, I showed how they were actually secret Gnostics. But for the longest time, the church actually knew what the Knights Templar was doing because they didn't answer to anyone but the Pope. I mean, the five-pointed star was literally a Christian symbol for the first 500 years of the church. So that's the big secret. To the uninitiated and to everyone on the outside world, you're just worshiping Jesus. But to those who are initiated into the mysteries, understood that Jesus is actually Lucifer. Not the devil, not Satan, not a fallen angel. And it's not that big of a deal. Lucifer is a symbol of intelligence and intellect. Lucifer is a spirit of curiosity, those who are willing to learn and to dive into the mysteries. Lucifer is an emblem of love and beauty and self-acceptance, as well as self-empowerment, which is all the things that Jesus did. So whether in English you call him Jesus, or if you speak Latin and you call him Lucifer, you're talking about the same person. Or maybe I shouldn't say person, I should say archetype. The real issue here is the Pope blatantly admitting that he's the devil, except calling it a funny. So congratulations, you have now been initiated into the greatest Christian mystery of all time. And the mystery being that if you're Christian, then your faith is also based on a Luciferian doctrine. Same thing with the Knights Templar, and same things with aspects that are adopted inside of Freemasonry. So congratulations, you've also been initiated into true Gnosis. Yes, I have new hats available, you should grab one. Because Gnosis, aka knowledge, is way cooler than ignorance. My name is Gnostic Pope, I am a proud esoteric Freemason, so mote it be.